Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vibrant Midlife. I'm your host, David.
And I'm your healthmate, Emily. David, you look a little tired today. A long night?
You can tell I had one of those nights. You go to bed, you're exhausted, but your brain just won't switch off. You toss and turn, you look at the clock, and you start doing the math. If I fall asleep now, I'll only get 4 hours. It's frustrating, and I know so many of our viewers feel the same way.
You've just perfectly described the experience of insomnia. It's so much more than just not sleeping. It's a cycle of anxiety and exhaustion that can really impact your daytime life. And many people just dismiss it, saying, oh, it's just part of getting older. But today, we're going to treat it as the serious health topic it is.
So, when does a bad night's sleep cross the line into actual medical insomnia?
That's a great question. Medically, it's defined as having trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up too early to the point where it impacts your daily life. You feel fatigued, you can't concentrate, you're irritable. If this happens at least 3 nights a week for 3 months, it's considered chronic insomnia, and it can be a gateway to other issues like depression.
So why does it happen? Is it just stress?
Stress is a big part of it, but there's a fantastic model called the Spielman model that explains how it becomes a chronic problem. It breaks it down into 3 factors, the 3 Ps.
The 3 Ps. Okay, I'm listening.
First, you have predisposing factors. This is your personal vulnerability. Maybe you're a naturally anxious person or have a family history of sleep problems. Second, you have a precipitating factor. This is the trigger, the stressful event that starts the bad sleep. A work deadline, a health scare, a loss.
Okay, that makes sense. A stressful event messes up your sleep for a bit, but why does it continue long after the stress is gone?
That's the third and most important P, perpetuating factors. These are the bad habits and anxious thoughts we develop in response to not sleeping. Things like staying in bed for hours, trying to force sleep, checking the clock constantly, or starting to worry about sleep hours before you even go to bed. These habits are what keep the insomnia fire burning.
Wow. So you're saying the way we react to sleeplessness is what makes it a long-term problem. So how do you know if you have it? Do you need a fancy sleep study?
For most cases of insomnia, no. The most important tool is actually a simple sleep diary. For at least 2 weeks, you just track when you go to bed, when you think you fell asleep, when you woke up, and when you got out of bed. From this, a doctor can calculate your sleep efficiency.
Sleep efficiency?
It's the percentage of time you're in bed that you're actually asleep. A healthy sleeper is usually around 85% or higher. If your efficiency is low, it's a good sign that something is off. A full sleep study is usually only needed if they suspect another issue like sleep apnea.
Okay, so let's say someone's been struggling for months. What's the solution? Is it just sleeping pills?
I'm so glad you asked that because this is the biggest misconception. For chronic insomnia, the first line gold standard treatment is not medication. It's a non-drug therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI.
Cognitive behavioral therapy. I've heard of that for anxiety, but how does it work for sleep?
CBTI is a program that retrains your brain and body for good sleep. It has a few key components. One is stimulus control, which means reassociating your bed with sleep and only sleep. No more working or watching TV in bed. If you can't sleep, you get up, go to another room, and only return when you're sleepy.
That sounds tough, but it makes sense. What else?
Another part is sleep restriction. It sounds scary, but it's about temporarily limiting your time in bed to the hours you're actually sleeping. This builds up a strong sleep drive, so you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. Then there's the cognitive part, challenging and changing the anxious thoughts like, if I don't get 8 hours, tomorrow will be a disaster.
So it's really about breaking all those bad habits and thought patterns we talked about earlier. Is it actually effective?
It's incredibly effective. Study after study shows that CBTI is just as effective as sleeping pills in the short term, and in the long term, it's more effective because you're learning skills for life. The chance of relapse is much lower.
So where do sleeping pills fit in?
And they have a role, but it should be a limited one. They can be useful for short-term relief, like during a period of intense stress, but they should always be used under a doctor's guidance and for the shortest possible time. They come with risks of dependency, side effects, and they don't fix the underlying problem.
This is a huge paradigm shift. We're so used to looking for a quick fix in a pill, but it sounds like the real solution is to change our relationship with sleep itself.
That's the perfect way to put it. The goal is to stop trying so hard to sleep and instead create the conditions where sleep can happen naturally. It's about letting go of the unrealistic expectation of a perfect 8 hours every night and trusting that your body knows what to do. Quality over quantity.
This has been incredibly enlightening. So the key takeaway is that for chronic insomnia, don't just ask for a pill. Ask your doctor about CBTI and focus on changing your habits and thoughts around sleep.
Exactly. A healthy mindset and healthy habits are the true lasting cure for sleepless nights.
Thank you so much, Emily. In our next episode, we'll be tackling a very exciting topic, challenge, running 20 minutes without stopping, where we'll reveal a 4-week plan to get you there. This has been David.
And I'm Emily. Sleep well and stay vibrant.